I'm Tom Washington. I'm the supervising crime scene specialist here in the crime scene unit. We process thousands of items of evidence in our unit. Join me on a tour where I'll show you some of the equipment we use to help solve crime.
As a crime scene specialist, part of our job duties is to be on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. When we're not at crime scenes, we are doing evidence processing. Evidence processing is where we will have an item of evidence which will be photographed. Any identifying marks will be documented. That item will then processed for superglue as well as powdered, and then any type of latent prints will be collected, as well as blood, DNA evidence, and any type of trace evidence, which could include hairs and fibers.
Once we're done photographing the handgun, we bring it and we load it into our super glue tank. In order to start the super glue tank, I'm gonna add water and I'm gonna add super glue. The fumes in the super glue evaporate with the water, and so they adhere to the item. Acts like a shield on those prints that might be there, and so that actually let us lift more than one time, so we can actually lift that same print multiple times.
One of our other processing techniques that we have would be a chemical process called anhydrous. So it would just be another technique from superglue as well as powdering. So when we have porous items like paper, for example, like this demand note that we would have from a bank, we would then squirt a chemical process called anhydrous on it. It will then be set to dry, and then we put it in our fingerprint chamber, which will then have a relative humidity environment, and you will have purple prints appear on the item if there are latent prints on the item. So after the demand note was taken out of the fingerprint chamber, it's then examined to see if any prints developed. If prints did develop, you would see a purple print appear on the piece of paper, and then we would take that item and either photograph or scan it and make sure that we document those latent prints.
This area here is where we do our fluorescent photography. It's good for items that are difficult to lift with tape. We use a fluorescent powder or a dye stain with an alternate light source that has different wavelengths. The wavelengths react to the powder and the dye stains, and with filters it can filter out the background and gives us a nice high contrasty background that's good for images that we can then send to the latent print unit. Well, this concludes our tour. The crime scene unit is just one section in the laboratory that works together as a team to help solve crime.